Welcome to Nonprofit Impact on MeetAdvisors.com. I'm your host, Megan Dugan-Bassett of Dugan-Bassett Consulting. On Nonprofit Impact, we bring you tips on what works and what doesn't from leaders in philanthropy, public policy, and direct service organizations. And today we actually have a new type of guest. We have a leader in the community college world who's going to share some tips on change initiatives that I think are really relevant to nonprofits and colleges as well. Dr. Judy Marwick has her background. She started in math instruction and has moved up through the ranks to hold several vice president positions at different colleges, and now is just doing a fantastic job as the provost for a student body of 40,000 students at Harper College here in Illinois. So join me in welcoming Judy Marwick.
Thank you, Megan. I'm happy to be here.
Well, we're really happy to have you. It's always a pleasure to chat with you. I've worked with a lot of colleges, and one of the things I really like about Harper and really admire about Harper is that you all are leaders in college completion initiatives. And you have actually been at the heart of several really exciting initiatives at various colleges around Illinois, including more recently at Harper, an initiative to bring together high schools and local colleges that has been really successful at getting many more high school students better prepared for math, so they're doing much better in their first year of math at college, which has been a really big challenge in the community college world recently and in the college world in general. And you've had a number of other really great initiatives that I'm familiar with, when you're starting a new initiative and it's going to cause, people are going to have to juggle the work that they're doing, they're going to have to add new tasks. How do you get people excited and engaged and committed to a new big initiative?
Well, I think you're right. You have to get the people who are going to do the work excited and engaged, or things just aren't going to happen. Mm-hmm. So I think it's a leader's role to set the vision. Mm-hmm. Here's the challenge we have. Here's the vision of what we want to accomplish. Mm-hmm. And then I call leadership thoughtful persuasion. Mm-hmm. Lots of times. And you have to say, we can achieve this goal. We'll do it together. There's support from the top. I want you all to help do this. Mm-hmm. And I love new risk-taking. I love new thoughts and initiatives. And whatever you come up with, we're going to try.
Yeah.
And we're going to have evaluation plans, and we're going to see what works and what doesn't work.
Yeah.
And we're going to be equally thrilled to find out when your initiative worked well and when your initiative didn't work well, and we're going to celebrate both.
Yeah.
And so let's do this together. We can make a difference for our clients or our students, and that's the kind of thought leadership you need to get something started.
Yeah. So you're really making it a safe place for people to take risks, to learn from mistakes,
right,
and to move forward.
Exactly. And people have to know they're going to have the support from the top. So when they have a great idea and say, I think this will work, let's try it, then you have to say, yeah, okay, we're going to try it. Mm-hmm. And you have to be able to put the resources and the support for them up front to do that, and they have to trust that that's going to be there.
Yeah.
And then you have to follow through. You have to know how you're going to measure whether or not you've been successful.
Yeah.
And also to go out and do some research to frame your initiative. What have other institutions done? What have other organizations tried? What's worked? What hasn't worked? And then, of course, you make it your own for your own circumstances.
Yeah, yeah, and that's actually something that we provide for people, is helping them do that kind of research on best practices.
Indeed, that's important, because why should we all start from scratch on the same type of work? Then when something works really well, then we go out and share it.
Yeah. So you've worked for colleges with a really broad variety of budgets.
That's right.
From very, very small budgets to, much more comfortable budgets.
Right.
So when you're working somewhere with a small budget, how do you make people feel like they have the resources and the support?
Resources are about money, but not only about money. Sometimes resources are about people and about supports. And to say, we don't have a lot of money to do this, but I know we can all do it if we put in the time, if we work together, if we capitalize on the expertise that we have within our institution and also outside of the institution in policy briefs and so forth.
Okay, that's great. So you've talked about setting the vision for people. How do you set compelling goals that kind of keep people excited and keep people focused on the end game?
Right. Quite often visions are very big and very broad, and you have to break them down into smaller achievable parts and know how you will measure that. And even the broad goal, if it's going to take you 4, 5, 6 years to complete it and you want people to stick with you, you have to have milestones and you have to talk about your goal all of the time.
Okay.
Bring people back to it every opportunity you have.
Yeah. Focus
your strategic plan on what your goals are.
Right.
And then constantly measure every quarter, every semester, every year. Are we making progress? What's working and what isn't working? And continually have that dialogue within the organization.
Yeah, no, that's great. So so over time you kind of might change those goals, like as the
You may change the goal. Often you don't change your broad goal, but you certainly change your strategies to get there. Sometimes you have to look at both what works, but also what is scalable. For example, you might find in the college world that if we gave $2,000 worth of effort into every student, we could get more students to graduate.
Yeah.
You can't do that with 40,000 students.
Right.
So what can you do? What is it about an initiative that works and makes a difference and what doesn't? Also, engaging partnerships is very, very important. An organization doing something alone is not near as effective. Certainly the project that you mentioned with the high school partnerships worked because we engaged the high school partners and we both made changes and worked together, and only then did it work. We also have partnerships with other businesses to do better at the college. So partnerships are very important.
And for you, what are some of the most essential ways to keep those partnerships going and keeping them strong?
Right, that's hard. I think you have to have an organizational structure. Certainly with the colleges, we have an organizational structure between the college and the high schools that involves the boards of trustees, the superintendents, the president of the college, and then committee work underneath that meet at regular intervals.
So you have groups that meet together from each of those boards?
That's correct.
Okay.
We also, with business partners, it's a matter of going out to their businesses, bringing them to our institution, always bringing to the forefront what we're working on together, how's it going, and keeping that communication open and transparency in what we're doing.
Now I know I'm going to throw something at you that we didn't talk about before. So,
Okay.
So I know that you work really long hours.
Yes.
I've gotten emails from you really late at night, so I know you do that. But I'm wondering, for an organization that has too much work and not enough staff,
Right.
how can they make space? Like what can they be doing to take things off their list, to prioritize? What should they be doing to help make space for that?
Right. All organizations have too much work and not enough staff. If there are organizations that are changing and are relevant to what's going on, that's true everywhere.
Yeah.
So I think there's a number of things. First, you have to let go of what you've done in the past.
Okay.
People say, well, this is the way we've always done it. And I say, that's so good to know. Now tell me why we should continue doing that, or if we should do something else.
Right.
So people have a hard time letting go. And sometimes you have to say, I need you to do these new things. Let's talk about what we can take off your plate, or how we can do things differently.
Right.
That's really important. It's also important in organizations, you always have your leaders who they want to be involved in every initiative, they're comfortable with change, and they want to be a part of it. You also have people who do not readily volunteer and are just comfortable doing what they've always been doing. I found if you reach out to those people from an area of their strength, we need you to participate because you are really good at this.
Right.
We need you to teach the rest of us that.
Yeah.
Your expertise will make a difference in the success of this program.
Yeah.
You will get more people in the organization involved. Without broad involvement, you don't have as much buy-in and it's much harder to accomplish anything.
Yeah, that's great. So I think we've all been in this situation, at least I know I have, where there's an exciting initiative, it's a big change initiative, you're trying to fix something that's really hard to fix, but it takes a lot of energy and it takes a lot of work,
Right.
and sometimes you can lose, people lose energy, you can lose partners during that process. How have you kept people going and kept people focused on that end goal when it's a long-term initiative?
I think, first of all, that's difficult. Secondly, you have to make sure you don't keep coming up with one new initiative after another. If you have 20 broad goals, you're going to lose people on all of them. So you have to decide what's really important, maybe focus on 3 or 4 of the broad goals. You have to be transparent about how you're measuring your success as you move towards accomplishment of that goal. And then you have to have small milestones where you celebrate. Thank yous, celebrations, we're not there yet, but we're on our way. Your good work made a difference. You're helping people, you're changing lives, you're important. We know it, recognize it, and appreciate it.
Right, yeah, it's really important. Well, thank you so much. I feel like this has been a wonderful conversation, and I feel like I've learned a lot, and I just have respected your work over the years with all these really amazing, change initiatives that you've spearheaded and gotten to the end goal. So thank you for sharing your knowledge with others.
You're very welcome. I'm fortunate to have a job that I really enjoy.
Yeah, it makes a difference, right? Thank you for joining us. You can catch more inspiring nonprofit leaders on meetadvisors.com.